our chapter, trigonometry, intended for grade 9 pupils maths. So grade 9, subject maths, chapter trigonometry. Aim. The aim of this lesson is to solve problems involving trigonometry at grade 9. Objective. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to understand, calculate, and find side of a right-angled triangle from a side and angle given using Sukatwa without using a calculator. So at grade 9, we do not use a calculator. Calculator values will be given in brackets. So the three trigonometric ratios are trigonometry. 3 stands for 3. So the three trigonometric ratios are sine, abbreviated by sin or sine, cosine, abbreviated by cos, tangent, abbreviated by tan. Now, sine, cos, tan, sine is simply ratio of sides. Cos and tan are also ratio of sides, which we are going to discuss. So an example, we have a right angle triangle ABC. 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters. Length of the sides of right angle triangle given. Find as a fraction, firstly, part A, sine of angle BAC, sine cos tan of an angle. So firstly, sine of angle BAC, cos of BAC, tan of BAC. Second part A, required to find as a fraction sine of ACB, cos of ACB, tan of ACB. So sine, cos, tan of an angle. In Form 1 we use BODMAS, here we use SO-CA-TOA. So similar to BODMAS, here we have SO-CA-TOA. Now meaning of SO-CA-TOA is H, the letter H, here H stands for the hypotenuse. The letter O here stands for opposite side. And we have the letter A. A stands for adjacent. So in a triangle, we have 3 sides. One is the hypotenuse, one is opposite, one is adjacent. We are going to discuss in next slide how to identify the opposite and adjacent side. Hypotenuse from grade 8 is the longest side, which is opposite to the right angle triangle. Now, SO-CA-TOA, meaning of SO-CA-TOA is, firstly we have sine BAC. Sine BAC, here S, the letter S here, first letter S stands for sine. So here the first letter, so we have in 3 parts. Here S stands for sine, C stands for cos, T stands for tan. So firstly we have sine BAC. So sine, here sine means S sine OH means opposite of a hypotenuse. Now secondly we have cos BAC. So here this means cos, C means cos, AH means adjacent over hypotenuse. AH, adjacent over hypotenuse. So for third part, T means tan. TOA, tan is equal to O over A. O is opposite over adjacent. So tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. So again, sine OH means opposite over hypotenuse. Cos, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. TOA means tan is O over A means opposite over adjacent. Now, we had a question previously. Given triangle ABC, required to find sine BAC. Okay, so firstly, we are going to find sine BAC. So first we identify where is angle BAC. We are using angle BAC. So we are using angle BAC, angle BAC. This is angle BAC. So angle BAC. This is the angle BAC that we are using. So from here, we stand at angle BAC and we look in front of us. What we find is angle, the side, we find the side BC. So from angle, we find the side BC. So BC is the opposite. And AC, as you can see, this is the longest side. AC is the longest side. This is a hypotenuse. So the side that remains, this is the adjacent. We are going to use Sukato. We are going to use Sukatwa, firstly required to sine BAC. So sine, here sine, we can see sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So here required to find sine of an angle. Sine is simply the ratio of side opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is 3. The hypotenuse is 5. Now part B, cos of BAC. So we are using the same angle. Opposite adjacent hypotenuse remain the same. So cos, so we use K. Cos, meaning of cos is a ratio AH. A over H means adjacent over hypotenuse. Now we can see the adjacent is 4, hypotenuse is 5. So adjacent is 4, hypotenuse is 5. So we obtain 4 over 5. Part C, tan. So tan is a ratio OA, O over A. So tan is a ratio opposite over adjacent. So we identify opposite from our diagram. Opposite is 3, adjacent is 4. So it's 3 over 4. What you observe is sine cos tan is simply ratio of sides in a triangle. So we use SOHCAHTOA. S means opposite over hypotenuse, cos adjacent over hypotenuse, tan is opposite over adjacent. Now, second part, we have the same triangle given. Now, required to find sine ACB, cos ACB, tan ACB. What you observe is the angle that we are using has changed. So, ACB from A, C, B. So, this is the angle that we are using, ACB. So, we are using ACB, this angle. So, in front, we obtain the opposite. Now, the opposite has changed because the angle we are using has changed. From here, opposite is AB. The longest side, as you can see, is AC. So the longest side is the hypotenuse. So the remaining side becomes the adjacent. Okay, so here, as we can see, the angle has changed. So opposite and adjacent has changed. We are using angle ACB. So from here, opposite is AB, 4 centimeters. Now we use sine cos tan or ratio of sides. So we use SOHCAHTOA. So sine is so. Okay, sine, meaning of sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite, we can see the opposite is 4, hypotenuse is 5. So 4 over 5. Cos K. Okay, K means cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So K, cos is K means adjacent over hypotenuse. We identify the adjacent. Adjacent is 3, hypotenuse is 5. So 3 over 5. Tan, we use TOA. Tan means opposite over adjacent. Tan is a ratio opposite over adjacent. So we identify opposite 4, adjacent is 3. So this is 4/3. Now next example, we have a right angle triangle. Data given, we have an angle BAC given, we have angle BAC given, AC, the hypotenuse, is given 100 meters. So using as much of the information given below as is necessary and without using a calculator, calculate BC. So we have to calculate BC. So BC is unknown. So solution, the angle given is 23 degrees. So we are using 23 degrees. Opposite to it, we have the side BC. So BC is a opposite. AC, this is the longest side. This becomes a hypotenuse. So the remaining side is adjacent. So step 1, we identify the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Now required to calculate BC. So we are required to calculate BC means we are going to use BC, and what is known is a hypotenuse. Now the adjacent is not known and we do not need to find it. So we're only going to use opposite and hypotenuse. So here we use SOHCAHTOA. So we identify where we have OH, in which of the three ratios we have OH. So OH we have here. So we are going to use sine. First step, we identify opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Second step, we identify or we decide which ratio we are going to use, sine, cos, or tan. So here we have decided we are going to use sine. So sine of an angle. So sine of 23 degrees is OH, means opposite over hypotenuse. So means sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 23 degrees is opposite is BC. So the opposite is BC. Hypotenuse is 100. So BC over 100. Now to find BC, we cross multiply 100. So divided by 100 on the other side becomes multiply by 100. So BC is sine 23 times 100. Now sine 23, we do not have a calculator. So calculator value is given. We have to choose here sine, cos, or tan. So here we have decided to use sine. So sine 23 we replace by 0.391 times 100 without using a calculator. When we multiply by 100, the decimal point moves forward by 2 places. So we obtain 39.1. We are using meters. So BC is 39.1 meters. Now example 2. We have a right angle triangle given, an angle and a side given, using as much of the information given below as is necessary and without using a calculator, calculate AC. Okay, so required to find AC. So starting from, we have 28 degrees opposite of the angle. BC is the opposite. So opposite of 28 degrees, we have BC. This is the opposite. Now AC, this is the longest side, hypotenuse. The remaining, this is the adjacent. Now required to calculate AC. Okay, so we are going to use AC. We need the AC. Hypotenuse we are going to use. And we have been given the side, this side opposite. Adjacent is not given and not required to find. So we are going to only use OH. So SOHCAHTOA, where do we find OH? OH is sine. So here we're going to use sine. So first step, we identify the sides, adjacent, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Second step, we decide whether to use sine, cos, or tan. So here we have decided to use sine. Sine of an angle, sine of 28 degrees, sine of 28 degrees, opposite over hypotenuse. So sine means OH, opposite over hypotenuse. Now the opposite is here, 4.69 divided by hypotenuse is AC. AC, we are required to find AC. Okay? AC is a unknown. So AC, this is a unknown. AC is unknown. Now, calculation, how do we find AC is we cross multiply. So here, K must be taken, AC division goes above, sine 28 goes below. So AC becomes 4.69 divided by sine 28. So 4.69 divided by sine 28, we do not have a calculator. So calculator value given here, as you can see, sine 28 is 0.469. So we substitute. Now here, without using a calculator, we multiply numerator and denominator by 1000. So we obtain 4690. When we multiply by 1000, the decimal point moves forward by 3 places. So we obtain 4690. Here by 3 places, we obtain 469. So we obtain 10. So AC is 10 meters. So here for 3 marks. Next example, we have been given a triangle, an angle is given, and a side is given. Required to calculate AB without using a calculator. So, angle given, solution. The angle given is 42. So, just opposite to 42 is AC. So, this is the opposite. AC is the opposite side. Okay, the longest side is BC. So, the BC, this is a hypotenuse. And the remaining side becomes the adjacent. Now, required to calculate AB. So we are going to use the adjacent AB. Okay, what is the side given? Hypotenuse. Now, opposite is not given. We do not know the value of AC and not required to find AC. So we are not going to use opposite. AH. So next step, we write so ka toi. AH, where do we have AH is C. C means cos, so we are going to use cos. So we have made a decision here. Okay, to use sine, cos or tan, we have decided to use cos. So cos of angle is 42 degrees, A over H. Ka means A over H, the adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent is AB. Here, as you can see, the adjacent is AB divided by the hypotenuse is 100. So divided by 100. Now to find AB, we cross multiply. AB is cos 42 times 100. Now cos 42, value given is 0.743 times 100. When we multiply by 100, the decimal point moves forward by 2 places. We obtain 74.3 meters. Example 4. We have a right angle triangle, an angle given, and a side given. Required to calculate the side AC. So AC is unknown. So here we have given angle 51. Just opposite to it is AB. So AB is a opposite. This is the longest side. AC is the longest side. This is a hypotenuse. So the remaining side become the adjacent. Now, required to find AC means we are going to use AC. This is a side given. We are going to use it. Opposite. This is a side not given and not required to find AB. So we are going to use AH. Next step, we write so kato. Where do we have AH? AH is ka, cos. So we are going to use cos. So adjacent hypotenuse, cos. Cos of angle here is 51. Cos 51 is A over H. Ka means cos is A over H adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is 62.9 meters given here. Replace. Hypotenuse is AC. So this is our hypotenuse AC, which is required to be found. So here care has to be taken. We cross multiply. So AC division on the other side becomes multiplication. Cos 51 becomes the division. So AC is 62.9 divided by cos 51. Now cos 51, we do not have a calculator, value given in braces 0.629. Now we multiply each side, we have to calculate without using a calculator. We multiply each side by 1000. So we obtain, when we multiply by 1000, so the decimal point moves forward by 3 places, 62,900 divided by, it moves by 3 places, 629. So AC is 100 meters. Now example 5, still we have a right angle triangle given. An angle in the triangle is given and a side is given. Required to calculate a side AB. So still we start by identifying the opposite, adjacent and hypotenuse. So here we are using the angle 47. Opposite to the angle is the side AB. So opposite to the angle 47 is the side AB. So AB is the opposite. The longest side is AC. So AC, this is the hypotenuse. The remaining side is the adjacent. Now required to calculate AB. So we are going to use AB. Okay. So we need opposite. And what is the side given is adjacent. So OA, we are going to use OA. So toi, tan. Hypotenuse, not given and with not required to find. So toi, O, A, tan. So we are going to use tan. So still here, second step. First step, we identify opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Second step, we decide whether to use sine, cos, or tan. So here we have decided to use tan. Tan of an angle, tan of 47 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent. Toi means tan is opposite over adjacent. Now we replace that 47 is equal to opposite. The opposite is AB. As you can see, the opposite is AB divided by adjacent. The adjacent is 1000. Now to find AB, we cross multiply. So AB is tan 47 times 1000. Now tan 47, we do not have a calculator. The value is given in braces. So tan 47 is 1.07 times 1000. So here, when we multiply by 1000, the decimal point moves forward by 3 places. So AB, we obtain 1070 meters. Now example 6. Again, we have a right angle triangle. We have a right angle triangle. An angle is given and a side is given. Required to find a side. The side BC required to find BC. So here, this is the angle given, 51, just opposite to it. Just opposite to it, we have the opposite. So AB is the opposite. AC is the longest side. The longest side is the hypotenuse. The remaining side is the adjacent. So required to find BC. So BC, we are going to use BC. So adjacent. The next side, given side is opposite. So we are going to use O and A. Hypotenuse is not given and not required to find. So only need O and A. So next step we write Sokata. Where we have O and A. O and A, tan. So O and A is tan. So we are going to use tan. Tan of an angle, tan 51 degrees. Toi, meaning of toi is tan is opposite of adjacent. So tan 51, opposite is 12.3 divided by the adjacent is BC. This is the adjacent BC required to find BC divided by BC. So here we cross multiply to find BC. So BC becomes 12.3 over tan 51. Now tan 51, we do not have a calculator. Calculator value is given. So we choose 1.23. So without using a calculator, we have to evaluate or calculate. So here times 100 times 100. When we multiply by 100, the decimal point moves forward by 2 places. 1230 divided by, divide times 1000, the decimal point moves forward by 2 places, so we obtain 10 meters.